I'm Pete Daniel, and I love to film the wildlife in my home of the Tamar Valley. The Tamar Valley is on the border of Devon and Cornwall. Join me as I show you the wildlife around the Tamar Valley for 12 months.
Well, last time you saw me, I candled the pheasant eggs we have in our incubator to see if anything was happening. I checked the bird cam up at the garden to see how my baby Blue Tits was doing. I went to look for one of my favourite animals of the Tamar Valley, the fox cubs. This week, join me as I check on the pheasant eggs as it's nearly time for hatch out. I've got something new to try at the pond at the garden. And I go back to the Tamar Valley to see how my peregrines are doing. And I get a fantastic surprise. Well, with this fine weather continuing in the Tamar Valley, and as beautiful as it is, it does cause one problem up at the garden. Right, well tonight we're pumping water up the garden because we've got no water left in the tanks. So Father's coming over, he's got a big tank of water on the back of the trailer and we're going to pump it from there into our tanks to fill them back up. And after we've done that, we're having fish and chips from Tap Hill. And I'm looking forward to that as well. Booty man. Well, that's ideal to get the water tank filling, as it's really needed up the garden for the chickens and of course our vegetables. We're really pleased with the garden this year and how it's looking. The spuds is up. We got kale, peas, runner beans, raw beans, artichokes, courgettes, butternut squash and gem squash. We got gooseberries, carrots, sweet corn and beetroot. And then of course Elsie's radishes is going really well. But there's one thing I'm really pleased about. Well, this is my favourite tree at the back of the garden, and that's the blackthorn, because we've got sloes on it, look. Eh? Brilliant, we've got our own sloe tree. So there you go, be plenty of gin made this year. Well, with the water tank full, it's time to enjoy our tea. And tonight is fish and chips from our local chippy at Tap Hill Takeaway. Of course, it would be rude not to wash it down with a drop of cider. Right, okay, well I'm back up the shed tonight with the pheasant eggs in the incubator. Now we're on day 19, and you may remember earlier in the year when I done my chicken eggs that on day 19 we had to set the eggs down ready for hatch out. So we had to stop them turning and just lay them down in the incubator and let them go. You may remember the eggs was wobbling because the chick was inside getting into position ready for hatching out. Now I've been reading up on this, and it's a little bit different for the pheasant eggs because they don't hatch until day 25. So we've got to keep turning the eggs at least 3 times a day up to day 21 before we can set them down and then leave them go to hatch out. So what I'm going to do tonight is set everything up and show you the turning of the eggs. Okay? Right, well I think we're ready to go. I've sterilised my hands so everything's clean, because in the incubator, of course, it's wet and it's warm. So that's a thriving place for bacteria. So everything's got to stay clean at all times, because if it doesn't, it's game over. It'll kill the eggs. So everything's ready to go. I'll show you the turning of the eggs. Okay, well there's the eggs. I'll just turn them over. You'll see I'll put a mark on the eggs so I know when they turn right round. So basically you just half turn the eggs. Very gently. I've seen my chickens do this up at the garden. I've seen them, they do it with their feet. They also do it with their beaks. Now the reason we turn the eggs is to stop the developing chicken side from sticking to the shell, which can cause the chick to die. So you've got to keep them moving, like I say, up to day 21. So 3 more to do. Oh, that's one, and then 1 more.
Okay, you stay there like that. He's just rolling a bit. Right, that's the eggs turned. Okay, right, egg, put that back on. Lovely. Right, well that's the eggs turned, and now I shall do that up to day 21, and then I'll set the eggs down and leave them alone, and then hopefully on day 25 we should start to see some chicks coming out the eggs, and that would be absolutely brilliant. So fingers crossed.
Well, fingers crossed for the pheasant eggs. I do hope we have a chick or two out of them after all the hard work we put into it. But now I've had a parcel delivered, and I'm quite excited to show you what it is.
Right, well, I'm quite excited about this. The postman's just been, dropped off a parcel for me, and it's my new camera. I've gone and bought myself a little underwater camera, because in the new year there's a couple of projects I want to try and show you. But I thought in the meantime, why don't we try it in the pond up at the garden? Of course, we've got the tadpoles and everything up there. So, a little bit later on, when I go up to check the blue tits in the nesting box and see how they're getting on, I'm going to try this camera out as well. I'm looking forward to that. But whatever you do, don't tell the wife, because I haven't told her I bought it yet. Right, okay, well I'm back up the garden today. I brought the laptop up to set up because I want to check inside the bird box to see how Blue Tit chicks is doing. And once that's loading, I'm going to go down to the pond because I want to try out my new camera. And I'm really looking forward to this, so let's see what happens. Look at that on the pond, look. Red Admiral, look. Come down on the pondweed. That's beautiful, look. See, the pond attracts all the different wildlife. It's absolutely brilliant. That's lovely to see, that is. Absolutely lovely. Right, well there's the pond. You can see how clear it is, look. It's absolutely brilliant. I was a little bit concerned because it started to go a bit green a few days after we filled it up. But the oxygenating weed we've put in is obviously doing its job and it's filtering the water out. It's absolutely brilliant. It's crystal clear. Oh, look, one of my tadpoles over there, look. See him? Look, you can see his back legs there. He's nearly a froggy. Ideal. Right, let's try out this camera and see what it's like looking underneath the water to see him. Right, well I'm all set up and ready for the maiden voyage of Pond Cam. Now you can connect it to a mobile phone via Wi-Fi, so you can see the picture on the phone of what you can see of the camera underwater. I've tried that, and for some reason the Wi-Fi keeps cutting out. So when I put the camera in, it's all guesswork. So fingers crossed we'll get something. So wish me luck for the maiden voyage. Here we go, let's see what we get. Right, well I've had a good manoeuvre around the pond, so let's bring it back out and see what results we got. So fingers crossed, eh? But you know, I'm really pleased with that. I didn't pay very much for the camera at all, so I wasn't expecting great results, but I'm happy with that, and it will do for the projects that I've got lined up for later on in the year. Right, let's go and check the blue tit box and see how the little birdies is getting on. Right, I've just fired up bird box cam, and Mum's in there with them. Oh, there she is. She's just about to go. She just took a drop on them. Now, there's 4 chicks in there that I can count, and we had 7. I haven't been able to get up here for about a week and check this box because I've been busy elsewhere. But they're not far off. They're going to go in the next few days, week. So I'm going to have to keep an eye on these because I want to try and show you the birds leaving the box, which would be absolutely brilliant. But you have a look at these. They're little crackers. They're absolutely brilliant. Well, they are. I think that's absolutely brilliant. The little story of our blue tits in the bird box. Hopefully in the next few days, these last 4 chicks will fledge and we'll have a full house out. That'll be absolutely brilliant. I'm really, really pleased. It's going to be a sad day when they've gone, but it's going to be a really happy one too. Happy end of the story. So I'm really, really pleased. Pleased as punch I am. Absolutely brilliant. Well done, birdies.
Well, I'm really, really pleased with the results of my pond camera and the progress of my blue tit chicks. I'm so happy with the way they have come on. But now I got to get on, and it's an early start for me as I want to revisit another birdie I saw earlier this year.
Right, okay, well I've come down home early this morning. I was on the road at 5:30 because I want to get down, get in the wood and get set up and check on my peregrines. Right, okay, I'm just about at the location where the peregrines is nesting and it's sounding promising we might have some chicks in the nest. I can just hear some faint squawking in the background. If that's the case, hopefully, fingers crossed, both parent birds will be off hunting, looking for food to feed the chicks, which will make my life easier to get in position. So I'm going to get covered up, get down there and just sit and wait. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll get some good shots. Well, do you know what? I was down the bottom of the cliff for 3 hours. The parent bird was on the nest, then she went and pitched up on the tree. That was wonderful to see. Of course, I seen movement in the nest, so I knew there was chicks in there. Now the parent birds have disappeared. They've gone off hunting, I expect. I've managed to get into position halfway up the cliff, and I'm looking directly into the nest. And it's absolutely wonderful. You have a look at this. Well, do you know what? I can't believe what I've just done. That was absolutely brilliant. Not only did I film the peregrine falcon, but I filmed her chicks in the nest as well. That was absolutely wonderful to see. How many people see that? Not very many people at all. And I tell you what an honour as well. Right, well I just want to say a big thank you to everybody that follows me and watches my videos of my year in the Tamar Valley. It's an absolute pleasure for me to go out and find the wildlife to show you what we got on our doorstep, and I'm just glad that it makes you all happy and gives you something to look forward to. So hopefully you'll join me again, because next week we should do, fingers crossed, find out what happens to those pheasant eggs in the incubator. So keep your fingers crossed for that and join me next time, and I'll see you soon. You all take care. Cheerio for now.